Good day, everyone. This is Ma'am Kath. So in this video, I am going to discuss our lesson 3, which is about percentage in various contexts. So meron po ako ditong i-introduce sa inyo na 4 context na pinagagamitan po ng percentage. So the first one, we have percentage change. So it measures how much a value increases or decreases in comparison to its original price. So this is usually expressed as a percentage. It is often utilized in finance, sales, budgeting, and data analysis. So meaning po, si percentage change may dalawang klase. So we have two types. First is the increase. The percentage increase when the new value is greater than the original amount. Ano po? So mas mataas po yung new value kesa doon sa old value. Meron din naman po tayong decreases or percentage decrease. So this happens when the new value is less than the original amount. So this is the formula for calculating percentage change. So percentage change equals new value minus original value divided by original value times 100%. So paano ba tayo i-interpret? So if ever na may masolve na tayo, paano natin i-interpret yung answer? So we have two interpretations. When the answer or the result is positive, meaning to say it indicates a percentage increase. And of course, on the other hand, if the result is negative, it indicates a percentage decrease. So para po mas malinaw, let us have several examples. Example number 1, bag was originally priced at 600 pesos. It was now being sold for 650 pesos. What is the percentage change? So solve natin. So dito, meron tayong original value or original price na 600 pesos. So yan po yung una nating given. And then, yung bag is na-sold natin ng 650 pesos. So ito yung ating new value. So kumbaga, itong example number 1 natin, parang buy and sell. So binili mo siya ng 600 and then ibebenta mo siya ng 650 pesos. So try nating i-solve using the formula po kanina. So substitute natin yung mga given. So percentage change equals 650 minus 600 divided by 600 times 100%. So unahin po natin yung subtraction. So 650 minus 600, that is 50 pesos. And then, copy lang po yung denominator na 600 and copy lang din yung times 100%. So 50 divided by 600, that will give us 0.0833 times, copy lang yung 100%. So dito, kaya apat na decimal places yung ating kinuha. Ito po kasi sobrang haba, 33333. So, apat na decimal places yung kinuha natin dahil kapag inilipat na natin siya into percent, usually po kasi, ginagawa lang natin dito is i-move lang natin yung decimal point ng dalawang beses papunta sa right. So, 1, 2. So, yung decimal point, malilipat na po dito sa gitna ng 8 at saka ng 3. So, ang magiging final answer natin is 8.33 and then always meron po iyang percent sign. So, for our conclusion, the value increased by 8.33% from the original price. So, kaya po increase ang ginamit natin na term is because positive po yung ating final answer. Example number 2. Stock value of a company was 120 pesos per share last month. Today, the value is 90 pesos per share. What is the percentage change in the stock value? So, ang una nating given is 120 pesos. But take note, ang sabi dito ay last month. So, meaning to say, that is our original value. And, bakit ito yung magiging new value natin? Dahil nabanggit po dito na today, the value is 90 pesos per share. So, ganun pa rin po, using the formula of the percentage change, let's substitute the given values. So, new value, 90 minus original value na 120 divided by original value 120 times 100%. So, 90 minus 120, that will give us negative 30. And then, copy lang natin yung divide by 120 times 100%. So, negative 30 divided by 120, using your calculator, that will give us negative 0.25 and then copy times 100%. So, ganun po ulit. Para makakuha natin yung percentage, we are going to move the decimal point 2 times to the right. So, 1, 2. So, malilipat dito yung point natin, decimal point. So, the final answer will be negative 25%. So, ano po yung ibig sabihin pag negative? The percentage decrease in stock value is 25%. So, tandaan, pag negative yung value ng ating percentage change, that is automatically percentage decrease. Otherwise, if it is positive, then it is increase. Ay ma'am, bakit po hindi na isinulat dito yung negative? The percentage decrease itself, yun na po yung nag-i-indicate na bumaba or negative po yung 25%. So, no need na nailagay mismo dito yung negative sign. So, I hope that is clear for everyone. So, let us now proceed with example number 3. Julia had 8,000 pesos in her savings account. After a few months, her savings became 7,200. What is the percentage change in her savings? So again, identify natin yung mga given. So ang magiging challenge nyo dito is paano nyo identify alin yung original and alin yung new value. So kung titingnan po natin dito, original value natin is 8,000 pesos. Dahil ang ginamit po na term ay Julia had. Ano po? So we have to understand the problem itself. And then, so ang magiging new value niya ay 7,200. Dahil, kumbaga, ang naging logic dito, from 8,000, became 7,200. So that is the new value. So using the same formula, 7,200 minus 8,000 divided by 8,000 times 100%. So 7,200 minus 8,000, that will give us negative 800 divided by 8,000. Then copy po times 100%. So kapag dinivide natin ito, negative 800 divide 8,000, that will give us negative 0.1. And then, copy lang po natin yung times 100%. So, again, move the decimal point 2 times to the right. So, 1, 2. So, since meron ditong space, lalagyan natin ito ng 0. So, the final answer will be negative 10%. So, negative pa rin yung ating result or final answer. So, automatically, that is percentage decrease. So, the percentage decrease in Julia's savings is 10%. So, that's it for percentage change. Let us now proceed with the second context, which is about inflation. So, I hope narinig na po ninyo itong term po na inflation. Inflation is the general increase in prices of goods and services over time, resulting in decreased purchasing power. So, ibig sabihin po, yung inflation, ito yung pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin. Okay? So when inflation occurs, everyday items like rice, bread, or gasoline became more expensive, meaning your money buys less. So kumbaga, yung value ng pera natin is bumababa. Tama? Kasi konti na lang po yung ating nabibili dahil mahal na nga po yung mga bilihin. To maintain the same standard of living, wages need to increase at a rate like inflation. If wages stays the same while prices rise, people effectively earn less. So dito po, kung tumataas yung mga presyo ng bilihin, dapat po yung wages or yung sahod ng mga tao is tumataas din para ma-maintain yung standard of living. So paano nga po ba kino-compute yung ating rate of inflation? So here's the formula. Rate of inflation, since we are talking about rate, ang final answer ulit natin dito ay percentage. Equals current price minus previous price divided by previous price times 100%. So halos parang kagaya lang din ng percentage change na formula, iba lang yung terminologies. So let's have our first example about inflation. In 2020, the price of rice was 40 pesos per kilo. By 2024, the price became 55 peso per kilo. What is the inflation rate for rice during this period? So we have the previous price natin, which is yung sa 2020, is 40 pesos. And then, ang ating current price is 55 pesos, which is nung 2024. So let's use the formula for rate of inflation. So current price, 55 minus previous price na 40 divided by 40 previous price po ulit times 100%. So again, parang halos kagaya lang nung kanina po na percentage change. So unahin po ulit natin ito, 55 minus 40. So that will give us 15. And then copy lang po yung denominator, which is 40 and times 100%. So i-divide po natin ito, 15 divided by 40, that will give us 0.375. So again, para po maging percent siya, yung atin pong decimal point, i-move natin ng 2 beses papunta sa right. So 1, 2. So narito na yung ating decimal point. Magiging final answer is 37.5%. So for our conclusion, the price of the rice or the price of rice went up by 37.5% over 4 years. Example number 2. A jeepney ride used to cost 9 pesos. The current fare is 12 pesos. What is the inflation rate in the jeepney fare? So, ang ating original price is of course 9 pesos or previous price, and then yung current price natin is 12 pesos. So, lagay lang po ulit natin sa formula. So 12 minus 9 divided by 9 times 100%. So 12 minus 9, that is 3 divided by 9 times 100%. So copy lang po ulit ito So 3 divided by 9, that will give us 0.333333. So mahaba po iyan. Again, pag sobrang haba na yan is 4 decimal places yung ating kukunin. And then, multiply that by 100%. So, move ulit natin. 1, 2. So, malilipat na dito yung decimal point. The final answer will be 33.33%. So, for our conclusion, the jeepney fare increased by 33.33%. So, that is for example number 2. So that's it for inflation. So let's now move on to the third context na ginagamitan po natin ng percentage, which is Markups and discounts in business. So, dito muna tayo sa markups. So, kapag po ito ang pag-uusapan natin, meron tayong two important terminologies na kailangan ay alam po natin. And those are cost price and selling price. So, i-differentiate natin yung dalawa. Cost price, or sinusulat po natin as capital CP, is the original price paid to acquire or produce a product. On the other hand, selling price or capital SP is a price at which the product is sold to customers. So meaning po, pag sinabi natin cost price, that is the original price at which an item is bought by a seller. So kumbaga man po ay ito yung puhunan natin. On the other hand, selling price naman po, ito po yung pinakang presyo na ng ating product. Kung magkano natin siya ibebenta sa mga customers. So of course, selling price is usually higher than the cost price para syempre po merong profit po yung ating seller. So paano ba natin kino-compute ang markup percentage? So we are going to use this formula. So markup rate equals selling price minus cost price divided by the cost price times 100%. So kung mapapansin po, yung formula natin dito is almost similar doon sa ating percentage change. So next, paano naman natin kinakalculate or kinocompute ang final prices after discounts? So syempre, hindi lang po markup. Minsan, meron tayong discount sa ating mga selling price. So for us to compute, final price equals original price times 1 minus the discount rate. So discount rate, iyan po yung kung ilang percent yung discount. So these two formulas ay gagamitin po natin sa mga examples natin. So let's have our first example. Store buys a bag for 80 pesos and sells it for 100 pesos. What is the markup rate based on the cost price? So solve po natin ito. So dito meron tayong given value. So first ang sabi dito ay 80 pesos. So bumili po siya ng 80 pesos na bag. So that will be our cost price. And then ang selling price natin is 100 pesos. So using the formula of the markup rate, substitute lang po natin yung two values na ito. So that will be 100 minus 80 divided by 80 multiplied by 100%. So kagaya lang po nung process natin kanina, unahin natin ito. 100 minus 20, so that will give us 20 divided by, copy po yung denominator na 80 and then times 100%. So 20 divided by 80, the answer is 0.25 multiplied by 100%. So ganun po ulit, 2 decimal places papunta sa right. 1, 2. So malilipat dito yung decimal point. So the final answer will be 25%. So for our conclusion, the product was sold with a 25% markup. Example number 2. A jacket is sold for 1,000 pesos, but the store offers a 20% discount. How much is the final price after the discount? So this time, in our example, we are going to compute for the final price. So we are going to use the second formula po na nabanggit natin kanina. So for our given, ang ating original price will be 1,000 pesos. And then, yung ating discount rate is of course yung 20% or simply 0.2. So yung point natin dito, decimal point, ma-move natin ng dalawang beses papunta sa left. So 1, 2. So mapupunta dito yung decimal point. Kaya po yan ay 0.2. So of course, we are going to use the final price formula. Original price times 1 minus the discount rate. So final price equals 1,000 times 1 minus 0.2.
2. So we can just type this down on our calculator. Isang diretso po natin siyang i-type. Just don't forget kapag po merong parentheses. Ilalagay pa rin po natin yung parentheses. So kapag nilagay po natin ito sa calculator, the final answer will be 800. So for our conclusion, the item was sold at 800 pesos after a 20% discount. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang original price ay 1,000, binayaran niya ay 800 lang, ang na-discount po niya ay 200 pesos. Okay, another example. A cell phone is priced at 85,000. It is on sale with 15% discount followed by another 10% discount. What is the final price after applying both discounts successively? So, baka po magtataka kayo, dalawa na yung ating discount rate. So this will be our original price, 85,000, and discount rate natin ay dalawa, 15% or 0.15 and 10% or 0.1. So the same formula, but this time, since dalawa yung ating discount rate, dalawang beses din po natin itong gagamitin. So, dalawang beses tayo magmumultiply dito. So, 1 minus the discount rate. So, ilagay po natin sa formula, original price, 85,000 times 1 minus the first discount, 0.15, times, ganun pa rin po, 1 minus 0.1, the second discount rate. So, diretso pa rin po natin siyang ilagay sa calculator. Just don't forget to type down the parentheses. So, ang kalalabasan pong final price is 65,025. So, for our final price, after successive discounts, that will be 65,025 pesos. Okay, last example for markups and discounts in business. A store owner bought a product for 200 pesos. She wants to apply 30% markup based on cost. How much is the markup and what should be the selling price? So medyo tricky na dito sa ating example number 4. So let's identify the given. So ang cost price natin is 200 pesos. And then we have the markup rate, which is 30% or 0.3. So we are going to use this formula. So markup equals the cost price times the markup rate. So substitute lang po natin yung values, 200 times 0.3. So ibig sabihin, ang markup po natin ay 60 pesos. Kumbaga, ito po yung presyo na ipapatong natin doon sa 200 pesos para makuha natin yung selling price. So, selling price is the cost price, this one, plus the markup, which is yung sinolve po natin dito. So, that will be 200 plus 60, and the selling price will be 260 pesos. So, binili niya ng 200, ibebenta po niya ng 260 dahil po sa kagustuhan niya na magkaroon ng 30% markup, which is 60 pesos. Let's now proceed with the next context that uses percentage. So, the next one we have, the next context po na gumagamit ng percentage is the what we call value-added tax, also known as VAT. So it is a 12% tax added to the price of goods and services in the Philippines. Businesses collect VAT from customers and remit it to the government. So meaning to say po, dito sa ating bansa, ang regular VAT rate is 12%. So this is usually paid by the buyer and then collected po by the seller. And then yung mga nako-collect po na iyon is iyon po yung inire-remit sa ating government. So, paano ba natin kinakalculate si VAT? Here are the formulas for VAT inclusive and VAT exclusive prices. So, by the way, ano po ba yung ibig sabihin ng VAT inclusive and VAT exclusive? Pag sinabi po nating VAT inclusive, This means that the VAT amount is already included in the price shown. So, doon po sa mga presyo ng bilihin na nakikita natin, mga nakadikit or nakalagay sa mga binibili natin, kasama na po doon yung VAT amount. So, kaya po VAT inclusive, included na po yung VAT amount. On the other hand, VAT exclusive naman po, this means that the VAT amount is excluded or hindi pa po kasama yung VAT amount. So, magkaiba po ng formula itong dalawa. So, let's have VAT inclusive equals VAT exclusive times 1.12. Yung 0.12 po dito, that is the 12%. And then, baka po nagtataka kayo, bakit may 1? That is the 100% of the price ng goods po. So, for VAT exclusive, i-derive lang po natin using this formula. So, we are going to have this formula for VAT exclusive. So, parang nag-divide lang po tayo dito para makuha yung formula ng VAT exclusive. And that is VAT inclusive divided by 1.12. And then, for VAT amount, ito po yung ating formula. So, VAT inclusive price minus the VAT exclusive price. So, let's have an example. Example number 1. A notebook is sold for 115 VAT inclusive. Find the VAT exclusive and the VAT amount. Okay, so ang given po natin dito is, ito yung nabanggit, 115 as VAT inclusive. So for us to compute the VAT exclusive, we are going to use the formula VAT inclusive divide 1.12. So lagay lang po natin yung 115 sa numerator. So 115 divide 1.12, that will give us 102.68. And then, for VAT amount, we are going to use VAT inclusive minus VAT exclusive price. So, ang VAT inclusive natin is yung given, 115. And then, minus VAT exclusive na ating na-compute dito, which is 102.68. So, ima-minus lang po natin. So, VAT is 12.32. Ibig sabihin po, itong 12.32 na ito, mapupunta po siya sa government. So the notebook costs 102.68 pesos before VAT, and the buyer paid 12.32 pesos as VAT amount. Another example, a school bag has a VAT inclusive price of 560 pesos. What is the price before VAT and the VAT amount? So pag sinabing price before VAT, that is the VAT exclusive price. So, ang ating VAT inclusive is of course yung 560 pesos. And then, we are going to use the formula for exclusive. So, lagay lang natin yung 560 sa numerator. So, 560 divide 1.12, that will give us 500 pesos. For our VAT amount, gaya po nung ginawa natin sa example number 1, pagmamainusin lang natin, 560 minus 500. So, ang VAT po ay 60 pesos. So, the price of the bag is 500 pesos and the VAT amount is 60 pesos. Yung 60 pesos, napapupunta po iyan sa ating government. Next example, a computer accessory is priced at 1,200 pesos VAT exclusive. Find the VAT amount and the total price. So baka po may malito kapag naman sinabing total price, iyan naman po yung VAT inclusive. So kasama doon yung VAT exclusive at VAT amount. So for us to compute, we have the given VAT exclusive is 1,200. And of course, yung VAT inclusive yung ating kukomputin. So VAT exclusive times 1.12, i-substitute lang po natin yung 1,200 pesos. So 1,200 times 1.12, that will give us 1,344. So for VAT amount, same pa rin po, minus. But this time, ang uunahin natin is yung na-compute. dahil iyon po yung VAT inclusive. So, 1,344 minus 1,200. So, VAT amount is 144 pesos. So, the customer pays 144 in VAT amount, making the total price of 1,344. And last example po tayo. Example number 4, a restaurant bill before VAT is 1,500. Compute the VAT amount and the total bill including 12% VAT. So again, kapag before VAT, that is VAT exclusive. So 1,500. So ganun pa rin po, kagaya dun sa example number 3, VAT exclusive times 1.12. So 1.5 times 1.12, that will give us 1,680. And for us to compute the VAT amount, so 1,680 minus 1,500. So the final answer for VAT amount is 180. So after including the 12% VAT, the customer pay a total of 1,680. The 180 pesos goes to the government as tax. So that is the end of lesson 3 about percentage in various contexts. So for your learning outcome activity, ito po yung inyong sasagutan. Again, this is a total of 20 points. And this will be submitted on July 13 and 14.